I strongly believe in karma. For example, if you're a crappy human being, your body will magically attract fast-moving vehicles. And vice versa, if you're providing only good to the world around you, the same shall come back to you. You see, I am more on that first side ever since I said some mean words about our beloved and totally not awful game Overwatch 2. And quite frankly, I do not like unwillingly hugging fast-moving cars when I'm on my morning walk. That's why today I decided to repay my sins and try to squeeze something good about that game, which might be hard, but if I manage to play this game for longer than a couple of years, there must be something good about it, right? I will be honest with you guys, I really don't like Overwatch 2, but it's still a game I play on almost daily basis, partially because making content for it has become a very welcome source of pocket money for me, but let's ignore this part for the sake of this video. I am also a long-time player, and not just any kind of player, because I used to hardcore sweat Overwatch ranked, climbing to the ranks of Masters and Grandmasters, so I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about when it comes to wacky character-based shooter title. There had to be something that caught my attention back in those days, and with how things are looking today, clearly Blizzard did something right. So here I present to you everything great about Overwatch 2. I'm going to kick off this little compilation with the biggest factor, that is the character-based gameplay. I'm a huge sucker for first-person shooters that allow you to pick a certain character out of the provided roster. Think Garden Warfare, Team Fortress 2, Tribes Ascent, and Deep Rock Galactic. Those games are built around the gameplay variety in mind, and with a bigger variety comes higher skill expression. When you take a look at Call of Duty, every single title has some form of system to customize your gameplay with different weapons, perks, and equipment. This doesn't change the core way of playing the game, you still run around with a gun and shoot the enemy gamers with it, so no matter how customized or unique your class is, at the end you're playing the same way from the start to finish, with only exception being Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3 and 4 with the specialist system, but it's still not enough to classify it as a character-based shooter like Paladins or Apex Legends, for example. Overwatch 2 is giving the players a choice of what kind of gameplay do you prefer. Do you like constant action, quick mobility, and high fire rate weapon play? Boom, play Tracer. Or maybe you're a huge fan of traditional assault rifle, run and gun gameplay. Boy, you're going to have the time of your life on Soldier 76. But what if you don't like shooting guns? You don't like being a pathetic fragile soldier, you like being round, juicy and chunky, and it just so happens that you also like cute animals. I guess Bridget can do. In reality, there isn't much competition to Overwatch 2 either to satisfy my need for a fast-paced character-based first-person shooter-based. Team Fortress 2 is my favorite game of all time, period, but with the lack of care from the developers, it's really hard to enjoy the game with the constant issue of bots and content that is pumped in without any quality control. And when the game does get content, it's mostly cosmetic and not gameplay-sided. And as a side note, I absolutely love the zombies mode they added this Halloween, but prop hunt? Like, are we really going to step down to the prop hunt levels of unoriginality? Valorant is a good class-based shooter. I love the characters, I love the game, but it plays too slow for my liking, and it fits more under the CSGO umbrella rather than Overwatch. There's also League of Legends, it has gorgeous set of playable characters, but from this single clip alone, I hope you can tell this isn't an FPS shooter. On top of that, I think nobody will argue with me on this one, but Overwatch 2 has the best modern visual style that might not be as timeless as TF2's, but it's still hitting that sweet average levels that everyone will at least tolerate and at most adore. So bravo to Blizzard for giving us a product that is very needed on the gaming market and taking care of it with updates and new content. One part that comes to mind when talking about care is the whole background of Overwatch 2, that is its lore. There is a reason in my original review series I include a separate segment for the story itself. I adore the world Blizzard has built with many organizations involved in a worldwide conflict, the unique races that are present in that universe, and the relationships between different characters only deserve praising. Indeed, some interactions might be... how do kids these days call it? Cringe. But it boils down to what kind of character are we dealing with. If it's a granny sniper veteran, of course she will not behold the best and funniest of voice lines in the game, but her story outside it, that classifies her as one of the main characters, the entire background she has, conflicts, interactions with other characters, that's some cool stuff, and I genuinely enjoy reading in-depth stories about these kinds of characters. On the other hand, we have evident background characters like Junkrat, who has, in my opinion, the greatest in-game interactions. He is inserted into the lore of other characters like the Junker Queen, geez, I wonder why, and he also has his fair share of text to go through if you care to glance at it. If reading is not your style, then another big piece of the full Overwatch experience are the, not even kidding, cinema level cinematics and shorts. Or at least they were that good, because the recent ones, and I'm saying this trying to be as nice as possible, are awful to say the least. Those animations were the reason I played this game, or more specifically the Last Bastion cinematic. I talk about this topic in more detail in this video of mine, so if you want to listen a little bit more about the cinematics of games overall, then check that out after you finish this episode. But in short, to not repeat myself, those animations add that additional dimension to an otherwise plain game. When looking at all the heroes, you don't just see the PNG file with a name under it. You see a fully fleshed character with its personality, with his or her unique quirks, and overall you begin to attach and connect to those heroes who would otherwise be just playable NPCs. If you're a new player of Overwatch, which is completely understandable with it only being a free-to-play title for not longer than 1 year, I highly recommend watching the old cinematics like Honor and Glory, the previously mentioned Last Bastion, the Junkrat and Roadhog cinematic, and don't even get me started how good the origin story videos are for the game, not only promotion-wise, but also lore-wise. A moment ago I mentioned the game is free to play, which is yet another thing Overwatch stole from TF2, and as you might expect, this has made the game as accessible as that subscribe button under this video. Press it, or I'll replace Alejandro with something else. With an enormous batch of brand new players, it's a great thing for everyone. The veterans can enjoy teaching how to play some fresh sardines. There's a new wave of passionate people making content on YouTube for the game they just started playing, and Blizzard can try to slither their way into even more wallets than before, forcing everyone to stare at the disgusting battle pass and the overpriced shop pages. Wait, this video was supposed to be talking about good things, right? And even I, myself, have something to be grateful for. Like, if I decided to finally make that Kiriko review, every new player can watch it to know what does this hero do, how does she work, what are her connections to other characters in the universe, and also have a good laugh. So, in short, by going free to play, we have a much more diverse player base, ranging from veterans who know the game inside out, to a fresh installed child who will try to play Genji as his first hero and fail miserably, because why would he try out any other character if the cyborg ninja looks the coolest? You know what else is diverse? The damn heroes. This is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, because thanks to this rule of making each hero represent a different kind of creature, we are forced to experience the horrible abominations that are Illari, Lifeweaver, or Zarya. Just because the hero represents a unique archetype doesn't mean it's interesting to the majority of the players. Now, a very important disclaimer, I do not think that instead of Zarya or Mei, we should be getting the perfect anime wife like Diva or Mercy. That's lazy and that's stupid, only garbage games do such things. What is a good character diversity that I personally love in Overwatch 2 is Orisa. Good character diversity is Sojourn. A good character diversity is goddamn King of Roomba's Ramatra. Utilizing the strengths of the universe we are in and making the characters stand out with actually unique perks and design choices instead of making another basic human, but with different eyes, skin color, or hair. Sojourn, cybernetically enhanced transformer woman. Baptiste, just a human with bouncy shoes. Orisa, horse-like robot with a minigun replacing her hand. Mercy, basic bimbo angel cosplay. Ramatra, a robot who can in an instant switch from a wizard stance to the Punisher stance in a blink of an eye. You see where I'm going with this? Overwatch 2 has some magnificent characters, and that's why it's sad to see a batch of basic perfect humans joining the roster. But fortunately, the next hero in line is Mauga. A beast of a man, oversized body, 2 giant miniguns on both sides, all thanks to some blocks stuck on his chest, and that magnificent hair. Is he still a basic human? Well, of course not, just take a look at him. Is he original? Maybe not to the fullest, but it's still something. Does he fit my criteria? Well, in most cases, yes, and that's why I'm happy we're getting him to the roster. If that doesn't sound awesome, then let me remind you we also have a cybernetic ninja, the floating omnic monk, or an oversized German with a hammer. And overall, guys, I think that's the end of our train of overhyping Overwatch. Haha, very funny. I know there are many more things that are good about this game, and that's why I wanted to ask you to share with me and the rest of my community down in the comments what do you think about this game and what is your favorite part of it. Overall, if you want to see me in some more angry state than today's happy adventure, then go check out the video where I talk about Overwatch in a not so good way. And yeah, thanks for watching, have a lovely day, bye bye!